Students, welcome to this video lecture session number 16, program BBA, subject consumer behavior, semester for 5th semester BBA for Bangalore North University. So in this video lecture, we will be able to discuss about the things under the head determinants of consumer behavior. The topic is perceptual process. So in previous session, that is in the video lecture number 15, we have discussed about the consumer perception, meaning and factors affecting perception. So the various factors that can be classified under two heads, that is internal factors and external factors. In internal factors, we have selective attention, selective exposure, selective reception, perceptual vigilance, expectation, and subliminal perception. And external factors such as price perception, price expectation, company image, and perceived risk. These are the things we have studied in the previous session. Learning objectives. The learning objective of this session is you will be able to explain the process of perceptual, that is perceptual process. The session outcome is the students will be able to explain the perceptual process. Meaning, perception is the process by which people select, organize, interpret, retrieve, and respond to information. Perceptual information is gathered from hearing, touch, taste, and smell. So basically, the perception means it is the process by which people select. So a consumer is going to select, organize, that is nothing but pulling of all the information, and interpret what is the use of using that products or services. He is going to interpret and retrieve and respond to the information. So perceptual information is gathered from above. He is going to gather the perceptual concepts, perceptual point of view through the use of sight. Sight is nothing but by knowing the vision of these products through vision, sight, and hearing something, hearing from others who are already using those products. There may be a family members, friends, and relatives. They are called as reference groups. And by even touching the products also, is going to make a perception about the products or services. And taste, by having a taste of those products, he can perceive or he can interpret whatever the comments about that products or services. And even through smell also, some category of products, through smell also, he can have his own perception towards those products or services. This perceptual process begins when our sensory receptors such as eyes, ears, tongue, nose, and skin come in a contact with sensory stimuli, that is through sights, sounds, taste, and odors, etc. around us. This perceptual process starts with our sensory receptors such as eyes, ears, and tongue. Through vision, as I said, through sight, through eyes, we can see about the features, attributes of the product or services. Ears, from hearing other fellow reference group, family members, relatives, friends, whatever their opinion about the product or services. Through there, we can hear the perceptions of that products. Through tongue, that is nothing but word of mouth, mouth to mouth marketing, mouth to mouth advertising, where the people will say about the perceptions about their products. And nose, by having a smell, and skin come in contact with sensory stimuli through sight, sound, taste, and odors, etc. around us. We can perceive the products or services. And perceptual process. Usually these three are the steps where this perceptual process usually happens. First one is perceptual inputs, that is through stimuli. Perceptual process, that is through receiving, selecting, organizing responses, and interpreting results. And third one is perceptual output through actions. By buying those products or services, we can make the action. So these three constitute the process of perceptual, that is input, process, output. Input through stimuli, process through receiving, selecting, organizing, responses and interpreting, and last one is output through action. So first component of the perceptual process is perceptual inputs. What is this perceptual inputs? Perceptual inputs nothing but through stimuli. Stimuli happens through sights, that is through eyes. We can see the products or services attributes, components, the characteristics of particular products or services. Sounds through sounds means by hearing from others what is their opinion about those products or services. We can come to a conclusion, that is called it as through sounds. Smell is nothing but by tasting those products we can have our own conclusion about the products or services. Through taste also same thing. Textures is nothing but the written words that is written in the products or services. By looking into that, we can come to conclusion about the information about the products or services. And the second component of the perceptual process is process. First one is input, next one is process. Process here has the various steps, 4 steps. That is first one, receiving. So if any customer wants to, after stimuli, after various through smell, sound, hearing, through sights, next they proceed with process. Process will happen, perceptual process will happen through receiving. First step is receiving. Consumer is going to receive the information about the various products and services. Object is nothing but what he actually needs, that products or services or any event. If any services is happened through events, and even some other people also, he is going to collect the various information that is in the form of receiving. Next step is selecting. After receiving, he is going to select out of various alternatives by considering various external and internal factors. So by having these two factors, by considering these two factors, he is going to select various alternatives that is viable to him. So after selecting the products or services, organizing, grouping, pooling all the various resources to him to go ahead with the further process is called as organizing. And responses and interpreting. So if any perceived error is happens, attribution is happens, he is going to give the response or interprets in his own ways what he actually perceives it. That constitute responses and interpreting. Next component of the perceptual process is output. So first one was input through stimuli, and next one is process through receiving, selecting, organizing, and interpreting and responding. And the last step is perceptual output. So in this output perceptual actually the consumer is going to make action through in the form of his behavior. So it may be positive behavior or negative behavior. Actions is nothing but he is going to actually purchase the products or services. Attitudes, how he is going to show the attitudes towards the attitudes in the form of consumer behavior, purchasing behavior to purchase the products or services. What he thinks, that is what his beliefs and feelings about the products or services, that is in the form of actions that constitute perceptual output. So these three things are the main process of an perceptual. That is perceptual input through stimuli, next one perceptual process through receiving, next one organizing, next one analyzing and interpreting and responding, and perceptual output through action, that is behavior, action, attitude, beliefs and feelings, etc. So out of these various process of perceptual process, I have prepared some model multiple choice questions so that it will be better understand the concepts. First one is the process by which you become aware of messages through your sense is called. So the process by which you become aware of messages through your sense is called organization, sensation, interpretation, perception. So first three is not the answer. The perception is the right answer, where you are going to have a awareness of the message through your sense. Sense may be in the form of, as I said, that may be through ears, through eyes, through smell, through taste. That is called as perception. Second one, which of the following is the first stage in perceptual process? Selecting, receiving, organizing, interpreting. So in the three components of perceptual process, that is perceptual input, that is stimuli, next one perceptual process, that is the first step is the receiving an information. So the answer is receiving. A sensor organ that detects information used in the perceptual process is a very much sensor organ who it is going to sense the various products or services that detects the information used in the perceptual processes, the eyes, ears, skin. So all these first three, that is eye, ear, skin, or call it as sensor organization, where it's very sensitive, which detects the various information about the products or services. Hence, the answer is all of the above. Which of the following is a top-down factor that affects the attention and selection? So, personality, novelty, familiarity, color. So the answer is personality. Personality is considered a top-down factor that affects the attention and selection of the products or services. A principle that is at work in the stimulus organization and recognition stage of perception is, so perceptual inference, continuity, personality, none of the above. So the answer is continuity. A principle that is at work in the stimulus organization and recognition stage of the perception is called as continuity. So the answer is continuity. And these are the references I have taken to collect the data regarding perceptual processes. So thank you for watching this video.